Cloudy as we work our way through the rest of our Wednesday evening. A shower or thunderstorm can't be totally ruled out. Otherwise, we should stay mostly quiet. Cloudy in the overnight hours. Temperatures dip back down into the mid-60s. For our Thursday, a mix of clouds and sun. And we'll still have the low chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. High temperatures in the low 80s. By Friday into the weekend, we're dry and comfy. Low 80s for Friday and Saturday. The first day of fall coming up on Sunday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Folks, here at Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, we have got the brand new 2025 Chevrolet Traverse in stock, all redesigned from front to back, top to bottom, inside and out. Come see them today. We have got a great selection of these new Traverses ready for you to take home. And also, we got great discounts on our Silverado trucks. We got the regular cab, crew cab, double cabs, discounted up to $9,000 off. Great selection, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, right on I-40.
And hello, everyone. Welcome on this beautiful Wednesday to the Scoreboard. Oh, we're going to have some fun today, everyone. I promised you we were going to get some players, some coaches from around the area onto the Scoreboard to talk about the season. I know it's crazy to think about this. We just started talking about fall sports. It's almost playoff time. I know, crazy, right? We just started talking about it. I know there's a lot of things going on around the sports world. We'll get to NASCAR later in the show, a couple of contracts being signed, some NFL news, and baseball is getting close to the end of the regular season. But today, for the first couple of segments, we are going to sit down and have a conversation with Coach Claire Polk and Emily.
Yep.
Right, yeah, I forgot. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Emily James, senior, and let's see, the position. I tried to memorize this. Outside hitter, I believe?
Right side.
Right side. Okay.
She can do either.
She can do either. Well, that's pretty good, I'd say. Well, Coach, it's your first year, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Any memories so far from this year? Like any crazy memories early in the year where you guys think back to it and like, oh boy, that was something.
I think that we sort of came in and surprised ourselves, to be honest. I knew that we had a lot of talent on the team when I first had tryouts, and it was really surprising getting into some of our first games where I think we all surprised ourselves how good we think we can be this year as long as we work really hard. We've had some really strong wins against maybe teams we haven't beat before, so I would say just those first few games that we just got off to a roll. I think we all just surprised ourselves, and that we have something special here. And if we work hard, we're gonna go pretty far.
Yeah, well, hey, that's awesome. Awesome to hear. Emily, look, senior, captain.
Yeah.
What is the feeling like being the captain of the team in your senior year?
I've been fighting for this title for like my entire volleyball career. I remember back in middle school, I didn't even make the team. And I've just kind of been working my way up there since.
Wow, that's awesome. Hard work paying off. Do you see that in practice and in games? The hard work is there?
Absolutely. It's not even just in games and practice. It's before practice. She's the one that's already putting up the nets. She's helping get all the stuff set up. As a coach, you notice that type of thing where a player's taking that extra time to really step in and help.
Yeah, well, it's noticeable. I know that for sure. Okay, so you guys got off to a rocky start in game one, lost that one, didn't win a set in there, but then you go on this incredible run throughout the season, which probably felt a lot different than last year with how things went to start the year, and you guys did end up going on a nice run towards the end of the year last year and ended up making the playoffs, but what is the difference, Emily, between this year and last year to where this year you guys got off to a great start and are really starting to push towards those playoffs?
I mean, we have two new players this year, Reese and Kate. Kate is our libero. Reese is our outside. She also plays back row. And I feel like their energy, their enthusiasm really just came in and helped our team. And they just meshed so well with the other girls who've been playing here for a while. And it all just kind of came together, just clicked.
Well, when it clicks, it works right. You know, when it clicks, it's like, hey, everything's working good. Coach, back to you real quick. Do you, during practice, do you guys talk about later in the season, down the line, towards the end of the regular season, and even playoffs? Do you talk state championship at all? Is that something that you try to plant in their head? Like, hey, if you guys work hard towards this, we have a good chance of anybody.
I don't necessarily focus on that, just because I do want them to know, let's focus on the next game, because I want them to be prepared for the next game. I think volleyball, just like any other sport, with football, you do have to prepare. So if you know you have two big blockers out there, you're going to work on your hitting around that block. You have some tough serving. You're going to work on your serve receive. You're going to prepare. You're going to watch video that so you can sort of scout the other team. Who do I have to look out for? So we really try to prepare for each game. But I've definitely said to them, if they work hard, they can go really far. And to be honest, I would say this team has a lot of depth as well. We have really 12 strong players.
Wow.
Sometimes you have maybe 6 to 8, and then you're not sure. I could probably put anybody on the court at one time and feel confident about who's out there.
That's got to feel good to just know you have that versatility.
Exactly. And we only have 2 seniors, so we'll be graduating 2, and we'll have a pretty strong team next year as well. And so it's nice that they're getting demeshed this year. So if maybe not this year, if it's not our year this year, maybe next year. But I don't see why, if they don't put in the hard work, we couldn't do it this year.
All right, let's get a little bit more into the weeds here on volleyball. Okay, I've been doing my research on volleyball. I know how it's played. I know how you get points. I know sets, all that. I was learning about positions and rotations. Emily, do you ever I'm curious what your thought process is throughout a play, because the ball's going back and forth over the net. You have to quickly be able to switch from we're on an offensive mindset to defensive mindset and getting set up. How does that work in your head during a play? What are you kind of thinking in your head?
I mean, the most important thing in volleyball is anticipating the ball. You have to be thinking 3 steps ahead of what the other team's doing. You have to be watching them and the other players on your side the entire time, just watching their body language, who's already passed the ball, to see where the ball might go and kind of anticipate what you're going to do to react to that. So when I'm up at the net, I'm ready to block. I'm watching what they're doing. I'm watching the passer to see where that ball's going. I'm watching the setter to see where that ball might be going. And then finally, I'll be watching the hitter to see what I need to do, where do I need to go to make sure that ball doesn't go back over to our side, or to make sure that we're going to get up a good ball.
I have a hard time grasping the rotation concept of volleyball without breaking anybody that's listening's brains. Can you give us kind of a rundown on how volleyball rotations work and why that's so important for what you guys need to do to be successful?
Okay.
Either of you guys can bounce back and forth on this one. That's just kind of a general question to both of you.
Okay.
Go
you
ahead.
Want me to try to explain it?
Sure.
And you can correct me or add things if you need to. Okay, so we have 6 players on the court. You need to have at least one setter, usually just one setter, so there's no confusion. We usually have them playing back row, but for our case, we run a thing called a 5-1, which is where the setter plays back row and front row. Her main job is to set, but obviously if the ball is going towards her and she needs to keep the ball in play, so she may be passing it in other times. And then we have the other 2 back row players, or if the setter's front row, we have 3. And then we have 3 hitters in the front. And you have to rotate every time that you get the ball back. So the other team was serving the ball, and then they lost the point. And so now you have to rotate. And so because of that, we have our designated positions. I play right side. So if I'm an outside, then I have to immediately run over to right side. So it's really just running to wherever you need to go to.
Wow. I've heard 5-1 is the most complicated. Is that true, Coach?
It just depends. I think at the younger ages, they like to try to play a 6-2. That means you always have 3 hitters in the front row and a setter in the back row. And then when you get to the front row, maybe you substitute out and another setter comes in the back row, another hitter comes in the front row. A lot of colleges tend to run a 5-1. Maybe you just have a really strong setter. The one thing about the 5-1 is when that setter's in the front row, you only have 2 hitters because there's only 3 people in the front row. So if one of them's a setter, you're really only 2 hitters. So then that's when you want to have a really strong back row attacker.
Got it. Well, we're going to go to a quick break here. We got a lot more. Coach, I want to get more into your background, and we'll get into the future of this team and what you guys are looking to do for the rest of the year. Everybody, stay tuned. We got a great interview for you here today. Coach Polk with Pine Lake Emily James, senior captain. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this.
Keep it right here. We'll have more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg in just a moment from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, mostly cloudy as we work our way through the rest of our Wednesday evening. A shower or thunderstorm can't be totally ruled out. Otherwise, we should stay mostly quiet. Cloudy in the overnight hours. Temperatures dip back down into the mid-60s for our Thursday. A mix of clouds and sun. And we'll still have the low chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. High temperatures in the low 80s. By Friday into the weekend, we're dry and comfy. Low 80s for Friday and Saturday. The first day of fall coming up on Sunday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Listen, save, enjoy. The WSIC app, available now in your app store.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. This Friday night, the monthly car show Hot Rods and Hops returns to RevFast. The late Apex Storage Condos on Cayuga Drive in Mooresville welcomes the slickest and fastest cars, motorcycles, trucks, racing, and high-performance machines. Food trucks will be on hand for delicious dinners, and Hoptown Brewing will be serving up cold beer. Get your weekend started off right with Hot Rods and Hops this Friday night at 6 p.m. at the late Apex Storage Condos in Mooresville. Brookdale Village's Live Under the Oaks concert series is also happening on Friday night. Ryan Winters will be playing on the Brookdale stage in Huntersville beginning at 6 p.m. Food and beverages will be for sale at the many restaurants around the village. Grab your chairs and your friends for the Ryan Winters concert Friday night at Brookdale Village in Huntersville. Movie in the Park is happening September 20th in downtown Huntersville. The show at Veterans Park on Main Street and Maxwell Street is open to the public free of charge. Bring your blankets and lawn chairs for an evening under the stars with the showing of Space Jam on a big screen. Movie in the Park begins at 7:30 p.m. at Veterans Park in Huntersville on Friday. The NHRA returns to ZMAX Dragway this weekend for the Carolina Nationals. When the temperatures cool down, the excitement heats up at the Bellagio of drag strips. Every ticket is a pit pass, giving fans unmatched access to the drivers and crews who power the NHRA's thunderous 11,000 horsepower machines to their limits. Visit CharlotteMotorspeedway.com for information, tickets, and details.
The Renaissance Festival is back Saturdays and Sundays, October 5th through November 24th. A non-stop outdoor family adventure. Tickets available online only at renfestinfo.com while supplies last.
To keep up with all the events happening around the community and much more, including amazing local deals, download the WSIC News app today.
Your Tuesdays just got a lot better. The Good Soul, a feel-good show that dives into the stories of extraordinary people, is headed to WSIC. Host Patty Alvarez brings a sit-down, fun conversation to the airwaves to give you an early week pick-me-up. The #1 station for people who say we're their favorite station.
WSIC.
Now more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to the Scoreboard. Not taking any calls in this first second segment too. First two segments, whatever it is. First half of the show. We're doing an interview sitting down with Coach Polk, Pine Lake Varsity Volleyball head coach, Emily James, senior captain. I think you gave me the right information, and I might have put the wrong information for your position. What is that position again?
I'm right side hitter.
Right side hitter.
Well, an outside hitter and a right side hitter can sort of be the same thing. That's some more volleyball talk.
Yeah,
but
so
that's deep in the woods there, huh?
Yeah.
I'm left-handed, which is
same.
Pretty
Me
interesting.
Too.
They don't find
Who would? That's
All three.
incredible.
I want to say usually rare, but I always find myself hanging around with left-handed people. So, anyway, since I'm left-handed, that's not a very common thing for volleyball. So when they put me on right side, it's really easy with angles and stuff for me to hit that line shot. Most of the time they don't expect it, and I'm able to just kind of mess with them. It's pretty fun.
Do you kind of move her around to throw people off with that left-handedness, or do you keep her on that side for the most
She
part?
mainly plays that side. Depending on, let's say, if she rotates up to the front on the left side, she has to hit left side for one rotation. So basically, once we serve receive, she hits left side, and then they literally immediately switch places to where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, that's that rotation
Yep.
stuff where I was watching some videos about it throughout the week. I was like, man, this is complicated.
Yes.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
But
Correct.
I'm sure it's kind of second nature to you now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's, if you're next to somebody, you can't start on one side of them. You can't start in front of
Right,
whoever
you
you're
gotta
in
be
front.
in
There's all these
between.
rules.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Really, it's just like you can't, like, it's the logistics of how the 6 people are on the court. So you can be in these weird, like, positions on the court in association with each other, but as long as you're technically not crossing each other, it's not out of rotation.
That's where it kind of gets into that. I don't know how many people know the specific rules behind where you have to line up, and you start talking about
Well,
that.
even when you do this, you get called up for out of rotation.
Is it
even
something
you're
often?
yes. Like,
Wow.
sometimes there's once a game, at least one of, they're either, but like sometimes a setter will leave their position early to try to cheat, and then the ref will catch them. So
Okay.
it's funny.
Got it. Well, want to talk to you real quick, Coach, about kind of your background and how you got into this position. We were talking a little during the commercial about how you progressed in your volleyball career. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. I've been in the volleyball world for over 30 years now. So, I started at 3. I'm just kidding. I actually played high school ball in Atlanta. My last year there, we were state champions, and I was state player of the year. And then I was a 4-year scholarship athlete at University of Virginia. I actually was a 4-year starter there as well. When I came in, we were last in the ACC, dead last. When I left, we were tied first in the ACC with the UNC actually, and we went to the NCAA tournament for the first time. And my last year, I got all ACC team, all of ACA district, ACC athlete of the week. So it was a really great college experience. It was very hard being a student athlete, but I don't regret any of it. So
what's your favorite memory from that tournament run?
Well, we got to go play UCLA in Santa Barbara.
Wow.
So we were all flown out there, and we figured out like a day or two before we left that we were all getting on a plane to Santa Barbara, and that was my last match. We took a game off UCLA, who is a powerhouse and always has been a powerhouse in volleyball. So it was really exciting to have my last game be against UCLA.
Is that the farthest you guys traveled for a game?
Yep, I believe that was the farthest. We went to Pepperdine earlier that year.
Okay.
And we actually beat Pepperdine that year.
Nice.
So we had been to California, but we didn't travel that far.
That's
Texas.
awesome,
we went to New Mexico. It was really fun to get to travel.
I'm sure.
It was tiring, but it was fun.
With your background in collegiate sport, do you have like a personal interest in trying to get some of these players recruited who are interested in it? Like, what do you feel like your role in that is?
Oh, I can definitely help with that, at least from the high school level. A lot of these girls do play at the higher level of club. And that's really where I think the recruiting is focused.
Oh.
But even off season, you're still playing really competitive girls that play club year round. You see a lot of these people that would be on your team for club that you're playing against now. But coaches do like to hear from any type of coach that you had. What kind of coach or what kind of player were you in club? What kind of leader were you in high school? So if somebody reaches out to me, absolutely. I also just feel with my background and knowing a lot of the strategy and, being this type of high level player, I can pass on a lot of the strategies that you might be running defense and plays in college that I can teach you how to do that maybe some other coach might not know about. So, I'm hoping that's helping them this year.
Do you have anybody currently on the team that's being looked at?
I actually don't know that I do. This year, we do have a few very top level players that would probably like to go that way. I know she's probably going to talk about some of her teammates here. I do have a middle that's 6'3". I'm sure people are going to look for her as
That's an
obviously just
asset.
because she's tall, and obviously in volleyball that's a very good thing to have. So I'm sure in the next year or two I'll probably have some girls that will be very interested in that.
Well, let's talk about the rest of the team. I know, Emily, you said that you were interested in shouting out some players, being captain and everything. So tell us about the team as a whole. I'll give the floor to you.
All right, so this year we have 11 players, and 6 of those players are juniors. And a lot of those girls have been playing on varsity since their freshman year. So Phoenix, Peyton, and Ella they've been playing on it since freshman year. Ella also plays right side. Phoenix is outside and back row, and Peyton is our all-around setter. Zoe, who she mentioned, also joined her freshman year, but she's a sophomore actually, and she is, yes, 6'3". And she's
a sophomore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she has been playing with us since freshman year as well. Anshita, she is also a sophomore this year, started on varsity freshman year, and she actually just switched to back row this past year, and she has just been phenomenal in that position. We've been pulling her back for libero every now and then, and it's really been showing.
Nice. Well, with the season that you guys have been having, putting together that nice win streak here, what is your goals for the remainder of the season?
I mean, we definitely want to beat CSD now. That's our biggest one, I
Top
think.
of the list?
Yes.
Okay. I know those high school rivalries, they run deep.
It really is,
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, me personally, I just want to have fun. It's my last year playing volleyball. It's my last year playing with these girls who I've been playing with for years, and I'm just really excited for that. And I know that a lot of the players are just excited about having fun, getting better, improving, and winning a lot.
Winning a lot, yeah.
Yes.
Winning into the playoffs as well. You know,
Yes.
maybe you had a taste of. Was that the first year that you played in the playoffs, or had you guys made it before?
I think we made it a year. Like I feel like we've made it every year. I don't
Oh,
know how
okay.
far we've gotten in the past, but I feel like we've at least made it to the first round.
Well, you guys are on track to have a pretty similar playoff run, I'd say, where you'll at least make it. We got a few minutes left in the segment here. You guys are going to be playing Christ the King next on the road, coming off of a loss. Is there anything that you do to prepare the team differently coming off of a loss versus a win?
You know, actually, not really. I to be honest, I think when we started practice today before we headed over here, I wanted to make sure that the girls knew. I said, that's done. That game is done. We need to focus on tomorrow. You can't dwell on
Short
that right
memory.
now. Yeah, it's next game. Let's go. And so this is what we need to do to prepare. And could we have done something better yesterday? Absolutely. So this is what we're going to work on to make sure we're ready for tomorrow.
Now, Emily, as a student athlete there, I'm sure you kind of know the lives of your teammates and how they're doing in school and their personal lives and all that. But, Coach, you see them mostly after school when that's all done. Can you tell, like, just by how they come into practice every day, if they're struggling during the day in school or if there's something on their mind? Like, is that something that you can kind of feel just by being around them every day?
Oh, absolutely. I definitely think so. I mean, I'm not going to try to get in the middle of everything. Hey guys, tell me everything about your day.
Who failed their class today?
Yeah, but I mean, I could definitely say that, and I'm obviously, I don't necessarily want to just push, but I'm like, hey, you okay? We need to talk. We talk, and they know that, if they have something, they can come to me, and that's my role really to help them and any way I can. So, not just as a coach, but however they need me to help them out.
Emily, you have any fighting words for CSD?
We're coming for you.
Oh. Reese, I need you to clip that. All right? Coming for CSD, calling them out now. Last game of the year.
Yes.
And
last
it'll
game
be
of
at
the year.
home.
Yes.
All right.
So we're expecting a crowd. If there are any PLP people listening right now, y'all better show up.
Is it going to be homecoming?
Homecoming's only for football. But
It is? Okay.
Yeah. We are going to have a senior night, but
That's what I meant.
yeah,
Senior night.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So that's the 26th against Mountain Island.
Mountain
That's
Island.
our
Okay.
second to last game.
That's coming up here in about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. You excited for that one?
Yeah.
What's your plan? Parents coming?
I mean, yeah. Usually it's the other players that kind of plan it, so I'm just excited to see what they do.
Nice. All right. I got one more question for you. Pine Lake related.
All right.
Is Miss Gonzalez still there? Spanish teacher?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I know Mr. Ebenho's still there.
Yes, he is.
Soccer coach. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's actually about to have a baby boy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I really appreciate you two joining me today. Coach, I'm going to be in contact with you when
great.
you guys get towards the end of the year here because
Absolutely.
I'm sure you guys are going to get back on track after that loss and really make a push towards these playoffs, get a good seed, and maybe we can do some kind of preview with you guys.
That'd be great.
As we get closer. Emily, great to talk to you. Good luck to you in your final year at Pine Lake. I'm sure hold those feels in. You got a season to finish here. but I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun as you get towards the end of the year here. Any last words for you guys that you want to say?
I appreciate you having us on. I think this was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate having you in here. Everybody stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to get into some sports news throughout the leagues, NASCAR, MLB season coming to an end, other things around the sports world. So stay tuned. You're listening to The Scoreboard on WSIC.
This guy knows his sports, right? There's more of The Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the way on 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Well, mostly cloudy as we work our way through the rest of our Wednesday evening. A shower or thunderstorm can't be totally ruled out. Otherwise, we should stay mostly quiet. Cloudy in the overnight hours. Temperatures dip back down into the mid-60s for our Thursday. A mix of clouds and sun. And we'll still have the low chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm. High temperatures in the low 80s. By Friday into the weekend, we're dry and comfy. Low 80s for Friday and Saturday. The first day of fall coming up on Sunday. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
With 5 area locations, Desco is your go-to resource for electrical supplies. Albemarle, Mooresville, Salisbury, Statesville, and Lexington. No matter where the job takes you, you're sure to be close to a Desco. Shop now at DescoInc.com.
Bob McIntosh here with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Serving this community has been a collective passion of our law firm since 1997. We offer the quality legal services and results you would expect from a large downtown firm, but with a personal, community-focused approach right here at home. The McIntosh Law Firm, your local legal resource.
To learn more about the McIntosh Law Firm, visit McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Attention, fellow conservative investors. What does the name Reagan mean to you? It stands for being the ultimate conservative. It also stands